So my sniffing panties still makes me mad to this day thinking about how they were taking them. How they took them. They stole my backpack and they stole my sniffing panties along with the keys for my Geo and some other stuff. Some stockings that I was going to take back to my ex and rip a hole in them while making love with her. When I finally did see her again, we had to use a used pair of stockings. When I pretended it was somebody else that ripped a hole in them, just for her benefit, instead of remembering that it was actually me that ripped a hole in those stockings. It was still nice, but it would have been better using the pair that we hadn't ripped yet, since sometimes people just buy stockings and lingerie for their significant other. For that kind of thing. It's a dual gift. Anyway, I didn't have the scent of her sniffing panties that she'd given me as a gift that I didn't ask for, which is a difficult gift to find, irreplaceable, to remind me to go home and stuff like that. But I also had that restraining order on me for a year. But, a dog never forgets if they got their sniffer working right. Regardless of all that, it still pisses me off thinking about how those people stole my sniffing panties just to call me gay, pretending that I was wearing them instead of using them for smelling. To the point where it cock-blocked me for a while. Like literally. Because they wanted me to admit that I was a homosexual. It's really easy for people who have been called gay a lot, or faggot, which is my nickname as a kid for 9 years, every day, more than once a day, but at least they said it with love, to call themselves gay and not actually be a homosexual, since I've never had any homosexual thoughts. A lot of that shit was just misinterpretation, pardon my French, from other people who didn't get the fact that I like sniffing women's underwear. Not wearing them. I don't wear underwear at all. Anyway, I know who took them. I'm pretty sure it was Ardinger's daughter and her dumb boyfriend, who used this condescending tone when I went to order my Subway, a tone that he thought smart people would use, so he would sound smart. And I know for a fact, because I'm smart people, that they don't talk like that. He must have just got misinterpreted. He must have misinterpreted what somebody like himself thought smart people would sound like, all condescending and arrogant, and used their tone when it was just some idiot like himself pretending to be smart for no reason. And people would like you a lot better if you were just being yourself, not pretending to know what smart people sound like. Anyway, I'm pretty sure they stole the backpack for the lyrica inside, which I would have just given away. The Geo keys, that was kind of a lame thing to take, but I ended up having to hotwire my vehicle after that anyway. Just ripped the ignition out and hotwired it. So no harm, no foul. But the irreplaceable sniffing panties, which was my last pair that I've had for a while, was not something that I can ever forgive. I would pay money for those sniffing panties back if they were unadulterated and just smelled like the smell that they smelled before they were stolen. They were in a sealed Ziploc bag for a reason. You don't say, oh, these are some panties that I can wash and wear, or just wear or throw away. You say, whoa, why are these panties in this Ziploc bag? And then you open up and take away, and you're like, are these sniffing panties? Oh my god, I've heard of these. I'm a collector. But anyway, they're actually worth money to people like me, especially if they're part of their own collection. I don't really want anybody else's collection, but my own personal collection of sniffing panties have gone missing over the years from lame people, pretending that they were for something other than they were, not realizing why people keep sealed Ziploc panties in sealed Ziploc bags. That literally, they're probably just part of something you wouldn't understand. A sniffing panty movement. Like, I would rather do those than drugs. You see me ducking down somewhere, like you think I'm getting high or something, but really I'm just taking a moment out of my day to sniff some chick's panties. I used to follow one of those women around and pick up her underwear off the floor just to smell them and put them in the dirty clothes. She thought I was just being a good housekeeper, but really I was satisfying my addiction. When she gave me the sniffing panties as a gift, it kind of set me free. It wasn't what I was looking for, but it was nice to have. And when our relationship didn't end up working out, well, I said to myself, at least I have these sniffing panties. At least there's that. And then someone stole them when I had a hypoglycemic fit at Subway. It's when you black out from chronically low blood sugar and cops wake you up telling you have to go, pretending like you weren't allowed to be there since you had a Subway sandwich in your hand and were holding it. They just pretend that you're drunk or something, which happens to me all the time. Like, I try to tell them that I have a disability, but they don't seem to believe me, so I just don't say it anymore. Anyway, they're like, yeah, right, you drunk. And I'm like, whatever, I barely drink. Just enough because I realize that I'm not an alcoholic. So I'm the one who should be drinking, since I turn down booze all the time. And it's not fair to those other people who can't turn down alcohol. When I turn down alcohol, they pretend to be an alcoholic. So I don't. So Mom, if you ever decide to listen to any of my stuff, you can take that realization to heart and quit calling me an alcoholic and a drug addict. Or if you don't want to, then don't. But either way, you're going to seem pretty foolish when I lose respect for you. Sniffing panties, they're really my key to not doing drugs at all and sobriety. It's like, I had something better. I turned down drugs a lot, but I would turn them down a lot more if I had my alternative, which was sniffing women's underwear. And it still kind of is. If I get the opportunity, it's just people don't want me around anymore if they catch me sniffing their underwear and stuff. It's some weird thing, like they think I'm doing it because of them or whatever, and that I have a thing for them instead of just being an addiction that I have. And because of that, I don't know, some of those other people were like, you can't have sex until you admit that you're gay and stuff. And I was like, well, I'm not gay, but I'll call myself gay if you want, as long as I don't have to be gay. It's really easy for somebody whose nickname was faggot for 9 years, and then everybody called him gay for over 30 years after that because he stopped his friends from being molested as a child. And he didn't tell them that at the time because he's not a snitch, but now he does, just to rub it in that, hey, does it make you feel good to know that you were only calling me gay for over 30 years because I stopped my friends from being molested as a 4-year-old child, and now I'm just telling you because I don't like you? Does it make you feel like a piece of shit? Because you are. And that's the truth. Yeah, I don't think they'll ever get it. They think that people always do things out of weaknesses instead of strength. Like, I'm naturally just nice to people for no reason at all, because I like that me. And they think, oh, you're only nice to people for a reason, because you want something or because you're afraid. It's like, well, what if you're never afraid? And they don't understand that people are like that because they're little cowardly shits. But I do get angry these days. Still, it's been like almost 5 years since those panties went missing. Thinking about my missing sniffing panties. You would too. If you were addicted to smelling women's underwear and your last pair of sniffing panties went missing, you would too.